Hey viewers, welcome to VL Astrology. Once again, I'm Vanitha Lenka. I'm a Vedic astrologer, and today I'm over elated because of the presence of the renowned astrologer who needs no introduction, just a cliche. Yes. Yes, we have EKDK, Dhilip sir with us. Welcome, sir, on VL Astrology.
Thank you for inviting me to speak on remedies, right?
Right. Like I do get so many clients, what exactly will be the remedies? Because, once the doctor prescribes the medicine, only then, we get the cure, right? So if we are into astrology, we do need remedies. And I would like to take your opinion on this. What is your viewpoint? How do you do the remedies? What all remedies do you prescribe to your clients? And how do you handle the clients also? Please.
First of all, to understand remedies, we got to understand the concept of astrology, considering it from the point of view of karma.
Right.
Because you can actually discuss a horoscope without referring to karma also, right? Because you don't have to explain why things are happening. You only know it is happening, and it's like in the example that you used, like going to a doctor, you'll say, this is how you're suffering from this disease. Right. But we are not ready to understand why it would have come to us, what led to it, and so on. Okay. And so even without belief in maybe God or even karma theory that we are reborn again and again, or even if you think this is the first and last life you have, you never lived before and you're never going to live after also, still people can use astrology as a predictive science, like whatever is happening in this life, right?
Right.
But only for the inquisitive mind, why is it allotted to me? Why did I get it? Why didn't he get it? Something like that. So people always say, why me? And many are very, angry with others enjoying life. They'll say, oh, what's wrong? What have I done? So you'll be forced to, accept if you have to find an answer for such questions. Otherwise, you will simply say, this is the Dasha and Antardasha. This is what is going to happen. Yoga is there. You were just allotted this karma by somebody. And or you can even say randomly assigned, right? There's no reason. It just happened that I was born. I was unlucky. I was lucky under this planetary combination. And you can also justify like that because there's no way to verify this. You understand?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Only by only by contemplation and by referring to what the ancient masters have said, only then you can actually get to the bottom of it. Without getting to the bottom of it, you cannot even prescribe proper remedies. Okay, one is simply as you read Brihat Parashara Horashastra, you will see that the Maharshi keeps mentioning many remedies within that same paragraph. Okay, if Mercury is the Lord of the Seventh, then he says Vishnu Sahasranama. And but before that, he says there is a possibility of great distress to the body, physical, or even there is a danger. It's a maraka or something like that. So after mentioning that it is maraka, then he goes on to say that if you do this, in this example, Vishnu Sahasranama, if it is Jupiter is the Lord of the Seventh, he says Shiva Sahasranama. So by reading this, these texts actually in the book, you can find the correlation between the gods, but not all gods are there in Brihat Parashara Shastra. And we know that if one author does not cover something, it's not that he has not accepted something else. It's just that it is not in that book. But it could have been around him. So much could have been stated by others also at the time that he lived. So if I write a book and if I don't mention something, it doesn't mean I don't approve of other ideas.
Absolutely.
So it's a mistake for people to think that he didn't mention. So therefore it is not true. Okay. Because then Maharishi Jaimini would have said something, or, later classical books also had said a lot of things about remedies. But in between, if you if you look at the seriousness of it, um, uh, if you say that everything is predestined and you can't do anything about it, in terms of, if let's say there are challenges, you'll have to, like you go to a doctor and the doctor just reads out your, the diagnosis and says, bye bye. You got nothing else. Doctor, anything you can do? No, I have nothing to do for you. You heard it right, and that's it. Please leave the room. It will be almost like that.
Yeah.
So I exactly don't know how astrologers, like Professor K.S. Krishnamurthy said, that nothing will ever change. So after consultation, what is the effect of the consultation?
Yeah.
Because even if it has a little bit of effect on me, then fate changes, right?
Absolutely.
Which means, why should I even go for a consultation? Why should I? I just leave it. So for that matter, most of the people who are not going to an astrologer may actually be believers of fate, saying that even if I go to an astrologer, so what is going to change? So I'll be as it is said.
Right.
Right. And I don't want to, and people say, I don't want to know about it, because it's looking like as though everything is waiting for them. And they say, I don't want to know what's going to happen. Whereas Maharishi is saying that this is most probably going to happen. And if it is good, you enjoy. And if it is bad, you need to fight with it.
True.
So it was just, I was thinking about what could be the simplest way to explain these things. Then I came up with an idea that actually is something taken from my own life experience. It happened when I just passed I failed actually 9th standard. And though they just kind of promote you, because it's all internal exams.
Right.
So I got promoted to 10th, but I'd failed in Hindi with a single digit score.
Oh, okay.
And so it was like, like in suspense. So not very sure whether I'm actually going to 10th standard. So the principal called us, meaning my father and I, went to him. And he said, looks like your son is going to fail 10th standard board exam.
Oh.
So he was going to fail in 10th standard board exam. And I remember asking the principal, how do you know I'm going to fail? I was so, I don't know the logics
upfront.
Yeah. But he said, by knowing your past, I can predict your future. And that statement went so deep into my mind.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it for years. Oh, so it's always, if you know the past only, can you predict something? So I developed upon that. And later I had been constantly using this example, this story, so that people can understand, because most of us have been to school. At least 95% of us would have been. Whoever is listening to this video must have gone through school, right? So there are, less chances of not having gone to school. So I thought this would be the best example. Now, so then the principal said, then I pleaded actually, please don't remove me from school, because I didn't know it was so serious. And I was so careless. Right. So while we live in life, we don't know the consequences and live carelessly. Those who know were studying every subject properly, including in Hindi class, they were concentrating on Hindi. Whereas I was just wondering, why are these guys concentrating? And what I was doing, I was sitting in the back bench reading English novels. You name the novel, I must have read it in those times. That 1970, 77, 78 and all. Where do I read this? Only in Hindi class. Okay. Sitting in the last bench. And no, it's a vicious cycle. You fail and you don't understand. Then you can't get in, new knowledge also. True. Because I can't catch up, right? So then it becomes like a vicious cycle. I get worse and worse. Right. So like in the world, we have the poorer, the poor becomes poorer, the rich becomes richer. Sure. Because they will have opportunities to get richer, and the poor will have enough problems that is leading them to more and more, into the quicksand type, never to come out. So if you fail, then you have less chances of even trying to make an attempt on passing. Correct. So for all those people who are spiritually not evolved, they wouldn't understand this concept. They'll say, what are you talking about? I don't know anything about past life or current life or future life. I just know that I exist. That's
Right.
all. I'm having some problems. I'll do something to solve it. That's all. Whether I solve it or not, it's not an issue. Okay. So what if I'm a bad guy? I'm a corrupt person. I'll live this life like this because there is no another life for them.
Yeah.
It is like I only have 9th standard and there is no 10th standard. Everybody will be shot dead at 9th standard end. And that is the end of 9th standard. Then why should I study? Why should I become good if you are told that there is no continuation? And that's why all the religions, whether they believe in rebirth or not, they'll always say you will be tested. You will be judged. There is a judgment day for which either you will go to hell or heaven. You're always, it's assumed that you will always live forever in any religion. But in only in Hinduism, it's like a recycled. You get back. Whereas for the other, it is like even then after death, you are alive. According to Christianity or Islam. I mean, those are the bigger religion than Hinduism. Okay. So they'll say, okay, I get selected, I go to heaven forever, or I go to hell forever.
True.
But the only defect in that is my body is buried here. And what is there for me to enjoy after that? So you'll be forced to believe that you'll be given a new body, which is what we call as rebirth.
Right.
You understand? So my pleading to the principal, please don't remove me from school, give me another chance, is that part of what we call prayer part. Yes. That is why prayer is so important, because you need to buy time.
Beautiful analogy.
Okay. Now he suggests an idea. What is the idea? He says, I know a Hindi teacher, you go and fall on her feet. I mean, I'm just exaggerating so that you'll understand what we mean by saying go to the temple, go for prayer and all that. Prayer works in all religions same way. Whether you're a Christian, Muslim, or whatever you are, it works the same way. There is no difference at all. And it is because I realize I made a mistake. I didn't know the seriousness of this. So so he said, if I see improvement in you in the next 2 exams, like monthly test and quarterly exam, then I will believe that you will pass 10th standard. Otherwise, we are not keeping you here because you will pull down the 100% pass in our school. And unfortunately, we were the first batch student who was writing public exam. So it could make a big impact on our school, he said. I said, fair enough, but you give me a chance, I'll definitely, prove you wrong. But actually, the point is, at that time when the principal says, Dhilip, you will fail in Hindi board exam, which hasn't come, which is actually the future. I've asked this question to many of my students. I asked this question, is he telling the truth or is it a lie? Some people, get emotional. How can he say that to you? You are a brilliant guy and all that. So he cannot have said that to you. He needs to be punished for it. I said, don't get emotional about it. Just tell me point blank, is that statement true or valid? And then there were some logical minds in the class. Every class, we have some people like that. They said, what he said is correct. So like that, there is something which you can predict from every horoscope. Absolutely. There is a predictive, something inside the astrology chart that you can say it is mostly going to happen. It will happen like 80%, 90%, even 95% possibilities. But what is that gray area is, there is still the possibility that I may take extraordinary effort to pass. And that portion is called the remedies portion. Now, when I pray to the principal, he cannot give me marks. So you go to any number of gods and ask them to reverse karma, he will not agree to it. He will say, I can give you time.
Right.
That is the Vishnu chakra, the chakra.
Right.
When Krishna says, with this I will destroy everything, what he means is in time everything will be destroyed. So what we are doing is in the prayer, there is a kind of an environment arrangement. Wait, we are going to make some, give you some opportunities. That's it. But if you tell the principal, please give me some marks in Hindi because my Hindi paper is corrected in New Delhi. Who is going to give me marks from there? Who's going to correct? Who knows? Nobody knows. So there the system will take care of me. If I didn't study, it is going to fail me. If I pass, I'll fail. Even if the principal and I become thick friends also, it doesn't matter after that. So even if you are having Krishna with you, the Pandavas have to suffer. But without Sri Krishna, the Pandavas have no chance. You understand?
Right.
So there is this prayer, there is this prayer part, and there is the action part. The action is where you need to find out what is the source of this trouble. What is the source? I didn't study, therefore you study. That's all.
Yeah.
So if you say fifth lord in the sixth house, Maharshi says, you will adopt a child. You start doing a research. How many people have adopted? No. Then what is that statement? That statement is you better adopt a child.
Yes.
If you don't adopt a child and then invite a child into your family, that child is going to be the most, it will be the most troublesome child. Not
notorious or
maybe unwell in several ways where you cannot even fight with it. And there's nobody who can save you from that. You will, one of my gurus taught me, if there is a dosha, like putra dosha, heavy putra dosha, like fifth lord in the sixth or fifth lord in the 12th, and then maybe if you go for one more dimension, like one more level of it, no, after going to 6, 8, or 12, not even 8 is not that bad as 5th and 6th and 12th.
Right.
And if it gets further afflicted, it means that you have done lots of atrocities with children in the past life. Now, suppose I show you my mark sheet and I quietly leave my school, I go to another school for admission. That is rebirth. There, that I go with a mark sheet. When you go with the mark sheet, that is your horoscope. Now, any Tom, Dick and Harry all over India, the moment they see my mark sheet, oh, I know what's going to happen to you. You're going to fail in Hindi. Again, the same statement will come from there also.
Yeah.
So any astrologer in the world can tell you these things. Like they can make predictions out of a horoscope. Now it gets recorded into that horoscope. So what is planetary positions and at birth is that it's not that the planetary positions are causing this on us. It is our karma, and then we somehow adjust our time of birth. That is a mystery, and that is actually mentioned by Mahavishnu. He says that to Maharshi Parashara. Maharshi Parashara says we are told that Vishnu set up the planets in such a way that their positions will reveal karma, not that they will cause karma. So people always think, what did I do? Why am I having this planet in this house? I didn't do anything. And it actually justified, right? Because you don't remember past life. Then what do? Okay, why am I having fifth lord? See, most of the times I found mentally challenged children. I always ask, show me your horoscope. I'll ask the father mainly or the mother. One of them will have a severe fifth house affliction. For all this, strange, problems with children, they'll always have this. Either fifth in the sixth or fifth in the 12th or damaged. Maybe Rahu is already there or Ketu is further adding fuel to fire. Like that. So I thought about it like this. When you say fifth lord in the sixth, you will adopt a child. I'll say, where did people adopt? Nobody adopted. That means Maharshi is wrong. No. So the statement, actually, some of the statements you read are not predictions. They are suggestions. But we got mixed up. It's like, I can say, wait, just watch Dhilip. He's soon going to run to a Hindi teacher. That's a prediction. No, it is a suggestion.
It's a suggestion. Yes.
You understand? But I can actually be dramatic and say, no, soon he's going to rush to a Hindi teacher. And I can prove it also, because anyway, I'll be rushing, right, to pass. Right. But what if I choose not to?
Not to, yes.
I don't want to pass. Who told you I should pass? I'm a free human being in this world. Nobody is there to control me. I'll say I'm not passing. So there are people who don't do these remedies also.
Yes.
But what happens is they carry this to the next birth continuously. It is like I fail in this standard, next grade, fail till I rectify it. So that is the urgency of the remedy. You better do it now, or you're going to carry forward. But there are people who will say, so what, I'll take care of it next birth. See, there are
Yes.
several ways of handling this information. So we are told that once upon a time, Christians also were made to believe in rebirth. But then one of the emperors who was going in disguise in the city, he heard the Christians saying that next birth I'll become all right. So he brought it up in front of the church and said, see, when you people tell there is a next birth, they always say, next life I'll become good, this life I'll be like this. So please remove it. And so they removed it.
Okay.
They removed the text. Because if you don't use past life and current life and rebirth and all that, there's no way you can explain anything.
Yeah.
Because why would I see? If it's like saying, why would I get these marks without having been in the past? Because you think about it like this. When I join a school first time, do I have a mark sheet? I don't have. I'm randomly placed into as equals. So when you take birth, first time we're all equals.
True.
And it will be like, 50-50 horoscope, like good and bad will be mixed up in it. From there, you start developing your karma. After that, everybody will tell you, you are a good student, bad student. Otherwise, you also think like this. Suppose you see a horoscope and tell something about a just born child. How can you even make a statement on a just born child if the child has not existed before? Okay, I'll tell you another way of looking at it. I'm an average to maybe slightly stronger chess player. I mean, I was college champion and all that. I'll definitely, I'm in the, if you take the whole world, whoever are playing chess, I'll be in the top 10%. Okay. But I'm not in the top, that 1% or 0.5% or champions. So I'm not a grandmaster. I'm not an extraordinary somebody. Okay. So suppose I ask you this question. The current world champion is Magnus Carlsen. And if I play with him tomorrow a game, who will win? He will win. Okay, that's because you now know he's a world champion. Suppose I tell you tomorrow I'm playing a game with Mr. X. Tell me who will win. You'll say, how do I know? I don't know. So when you make a prediction, it is implied that you know the past. So without a past life, you cannot make a prediction. That is the first, what we learn from our discussion right now. Once you know this, after that, it's very easy to suggest relevant remedies for any problem. One is we'll have to stick to the classical textbook approach. We call textbook remedies, because at least you know that the rishis have mentioned it. So why doubt it?
True.
Now, people will always have resistance to doing remedies because I have resistance to go to Hindi tuition. I don't want. The day the Hindi teacher calls me up and said, today I'm not well, don't come, I'll say, thank God. So you ask people to go to a temple, do this puja. Sir, today I cannot do it. Oh, yes. No, today you don't have to do it. Oh, is it? I don't have to do it, is it? Then I'm very nice. Somebody died in the family. So 1 year you don't have to go to temples. Very good. You understand?
Yes.
So they'll be always looking for excuses.
Excuses.
Do you really think these remedies work? Disbelief. Doubt. It is like asking, if I go to a tuition, will it work? Will I pass?
Yes.
But I'll tell you the truth, I passed 10th standard.
Oh, wow.
And just because I passed 10th standard, I did 11th and 12th, and I did my BSc and I did my MSc. And after that, I did an NIT course. I became a computer programmer. Whatever horoscope I'm, printouts I'm getting from my office is all my own software.
Oh, wow.
But just think about it that day if I had not responded properly. So it starts with a prediction, but then ends with a correction.
Nip it in the bud. Yes.
Yeah. Correction, and then I have to work on it. It's just that, okay, teacher, a principal, I'm going to go for Hindi tuition, all that. So people will come to us for remedies and they say, sir, I'm going to do the remedies. After 3 years, they'll come back and I ask them, did you do the remedies? No, sir, I didn't find the time. I was busy with watching the serials. I had more important job to do.
Yes.
You think it's so important, is it? These remedies? Like that, they'll ask me another question. But there is another category of people who will do exactly what we tell them to do. Religiously,
yes.
Religiously. And then they will say, my life has changed completely.
Yes.
All that. So I always tell, there is a truth in what the principal said. So that will be like, when you read the textbook, there is a truth in it. You'll have to first accept. Then you should say, if it is good, I'll enjoy the show. But if it is bad, I need to work upon it. And even if it is good also, it's not just sitting back and taking advantage of it. You got to do something more in that time. For example, for those of you who have cycled, you will understand this. Suppose we are cycling. If the wind pushes us from back, you will go a little easy, right? It is so convenient to, you'll find it so pleasurable also. But just those who have been cycling, they will, what they'll do? They'll take advantage of the wind. They'll go faster than normal. What they do? There are others who react like this. Okay, now the wind is pushing. I need to put half effort on it. So the good times are on, and then even without much effort, they'll, happily sail during that time. So we always tell, it's good time, make hay when the sun shines. Even this is a remedy.
Yes.
So people don't understand this. No, remedies are only for bad things and bad times. So, and there is another thing about remedies. Before going to remedies, there will be some situations where you got to do the remedies. But before going to the remedies, first you have to understand what is possible and what is not possible. Suppose, for some people who have the bad luck in business, the combinations of business in a horoscope. Let's say he doesn't have that combination at all, but he still wants to, go against his own karma and tries to become a businessman. You know what the karma does? It gives him lots of losses so that he'll go back to job. I mean, that is self-correcting karma, actually. The duck is designed for water because it has its webbed feet. But it can also come to land. But maybe it came to land because there was no water also. But if you interview the duck and ask him, what do you, God made you for what? He'll say, if you look at my feet, you will know I'm made for water. But I chose not to be there. That's my free will. And Sri Krishna tells about Ichcha Shakti in Bhagavad Gita. That there is a fourth component, which is called Ichcha Shakti. You can do what you want. You can go against me also, he says. You understand? So the fifth component is God. So it will be like, even if you tell the remedies, will they do it or not, will be another question. In a consultation, I was just reading the line because he is not that, he's not literate, he never went to school, but he was leading an average life. So he came for consultation, and I'm pointing out to him that during this period, you're supposed to do Mahamrityunjaya Homa because this is, the second Lord's period of Saturn. And Saturn for it, Maharshi says, Mahamrityunjaya Homa, and then a black cow in charity. Yes. Do it as quickly as possible. You know what he asked? You will never forget this, story. He said, sir, in Tamil he told, I know, sir, because I pointed out the book because he was not convinced, So I had to say, it is written here. It is written here. So he said, do me one favor. You just continue reading that paragraph and say, whether the Maharshi says whether I will do this remedy or not. Now you are laughing. For him, it is not a matter of laughter.
It is serious.
For him, it is serious because he says everything is prefixed. That's what my father told me. That even to do something, even to come here for a consultation is predestined. He told me, sir, so many days I wanted to see why I came today. It is predestined.
Predestined.
And therefore, you tell me whether the Maharshi is saying, will I do it or not? Will I give the black cow as in charity or not? Will I do this homo? Then Havan. In North India, you call it Havan, right? So I said, no, he's asking you to do it. He's suggesting you do it. No, sir. I understand that. But whether I will do it or not also, he knows. I said, how does he know? Because if he knows, he will say, automatically you will do it. He doesn't say that. And so if you do a research on people having this combination, how many will do the remedy? It will be hardly 5% or not even 5%, 1%. The rest will go as it is said. So I tried 5 times and he also tried 5 times. Same thing. No, sir, I understand what you're saying, sir. It is written there, sir. But you read one more line and tell me whether he's saying I'll do it or not. Then again, I said the same thing. He's asking you to do it. Then I gave up. I said, okay, we'll skip this topic because,
maybe he had afflicted Jupiter. So that is one way to look at.
Yeah. It was all kinds of afflictions were there. I understood that in the reading. Obviously, right, Jupiter, afflicted by Rahu. So it is like you can't get this knowledge straight. So he was confused about it. And not only that, if you look at the remedy side, like if he says be generous in giving. For example, ninth lord in the 12th, he
Right.
says we'll spend on auspicious acts. So is it a prediction or a correction? Some people will do it automatically. So some people would have gone to this tuition even without being cornered like this.
Right.
And some needs to be cornered.
True.
So there will be situations where they'll do it automatically, because I found that they're doing automatically also. Same things, like in Sage Bhrigu's text, if sun is in the 9th house, he'll be a Surya Bhakta.
Yes.
What if he's not? You tell him to do it. So that itself is a remedy. So whatever is stated there as what we think as prediction, you should convert it into a remedy straight away.
Absolutely.
If this is the planetary position, if Rahu is here he says Durga. But if he's not, you tell him, you please worship Durga.
Worship Durga. Yes.
So you can always find your way through with the remedies like this. So for moon, you'll suddenly say curd, because curd is a milk product. Right? And then Monday, okay, moon's day. So by closely reading in between the lines in these big books like Brihat Parashara Shastra or Bhrigu's text. See, Bhrigu's, for example, if Rahu is in the 5th, Naga Pratishya Putra Prapti. You do Naga installation of a snake idol, and then you will get children. You know what? Actually, it could be the other way around. You get a child, and then the child, abortion happens. The conception 3 months later, 6 months later. Today morning also did a horoscope, not today, yesterday, for somebody who had Ketu and one more planet. The 5th lord is afflicted in the 5th. Abortions, they did it even in this life. So we are actually saying in the past life only you did this. Yeah. So there are so many things that you can, for example, if you are having the 2nd lord in the 6th house, you go abroad, you settle. But if you investigate in India, so many people have not gone abroad. No. But you ask them one by one, they'll say, we are struggling here. We have loans because
relocate.
They say, go. Now, there is so much of suggestion possibility in astrology. Yes. But they say, no, everything is prefixed, everything. No, if I'm fated to go abroad, will it not push me abroad? I say, how will it push you? You need to take a passport. You need to apply. You need to do all these things. Oh, is it like that? So, you see, some of the remedies are from the angle of knowledge itself. You can do the remedies. Like, what is the remedy for Mars creating Mangal Dosha? Maharishi says, marry a person having the Mangal Dosha. That's all. Now, what people will do, they won't do that. Then they'll say, give me some remedy for that. Now, those who won't work, because if the remedies work in Kuja Dosha mismatch, the Maharishi will give you the suggestion in that paragraph itself. He doesn't say that. No. And one more thing about this is, if he says, if you have Mangal Dosha and if your spouse doesn't have, then the spouse's life is in danger, he says that. If not, he says it's all right. Meaning if the spouse also has. So it means that even our marriage is not predestined. If it was predestined, how he would have told you. He would say, don't bother about all these things. You will only get married to the predestined person. So why you want to bother with with all this stuff? It'll anyway happen. So it is the if and but, everything is there. If you do this, this will happen. Now, what the principal should have told me in terms of prediction, he should have told, Dhilip, if you don't study Hindi like 24 hours, there is no way you're going to pass. That is the best statement he can make. Because if I don't study, I'll fail anyway.
Yeah.
So like that, you can say, if you don't do these remedies, you are going to suffer in the area of this. In this sphere, you will be suffering. That prediction is possible in astrology. But not if you don't use this if, that, then it is imperfect statement. If you simply say you will fail, you will pass. You will fail, you will pass. Then it is not a correct prediction. So remedies, first of all, what will be the remedies is not getting into the problem and then finding a way out using remedies. Not getting into the problem itself is the remedy. How do you not get into a problem? You don't know anything about life. There is no rehearsals. It's only one time, at least this life. You only have the horoscope to read. There's nothing else which can tell you what's going to happen.
True.
Therefore, astrology becomes a very important branch of knowledge. I won't call it science, because then again, this is only knowledge. It's a knowledge.
Mm.
This knowledge, like I don't know whether we should use the word GPS, but something like that, like a road map. We have everything in front, laid out like in timeline. This dasha, this bhukti, this is going to come. So getting knowledge itself is the remedy.
Mm.
So this question does not arise until you go to an astrologer. And who should go to an astrologer? Now what happens? The parents take the horoscope of a child and goes to and then the astrologer tells you have to do these remedies. No, sir, my child is from IIT. My child is from Harvard University. He will not read. He will not do all these
Not
things.
do all this.
And what do you do with it? No, you shouldn't. You should be very careful in marriage, because he's got his seventh lord severely afflicted and this and that. He needs to do horoscope. So he won't believe in all these things. Then like this, they finish the consultation and they go back. Nothing. It's like you go to a doctor and say, my somebody is suffering from this problem. Give me some, reading for him. What use is that?
No
So astrology actually starts when I want to know why things are happening,
right.
and how I can make my life better. It starts from there. The moment a person thinks this way, 50% is at an advantage straight away, just because he got this thought. True. Then he goes to professional astrologers and then gets the reading as per the classical astrology textbooks. And then he suggested remedies, and they have to do it properly, keeping in mind that there is a problem in this area. That's all. Okay. So I have said something now so far. This is the background of whatever I wanted to tell you. This is the logic of remedies also. And on behalf of your viewers, you can ask me questions so that I will, if possible, answer give you the answer.
Sure. Thank you so much. Actually, a very practical analogy you took, connecting to your life. It was really easily understandable and relatable. People 100% they will not be able to do, suppose homam and all that, you are performing, like suppose you suggest.
No, homam is that part where you start the process.
Right.
Okay. It's not the end, because you look at this, the situation where this is taken from Mahabharata. So when the Pandavas do the yajnas after the war in a very big scale, basically appeasing the gods.
Right.
Okay. So that nothing untowards happened to them because of all this. And towards the end, a mongoose that is half golden, that story, it comes and rolls on that place and then runs away. Then Krishna, the all-knowing, obviously he just watches it and keeps quiet, but the Pandavas come up to him and say, you know everything, but can you explain what is this omen? What is that the mongoose is trying to do? Because they saw it was half golden. Then he tells a story about how this mongoose became half golden. So this is a story where a family is living in a forest, but maybe poverty stricken, and so no food for many days. And so when the king is passing by, he gives them food, to cook and have. So they are in a mood to party, and then when everything was cooked, 4 sages came into the house as guest, Atiti. Okay. And the system in India. So you're supposed to take care of them first. Right. So the last boy in the family said, you give my share of the food to everyone. And then there 2, 3, everybody finally ended up giving the rishis. The rishis had the food and they went away. So this mongoose came and rolled there.
Okay.
And then it became half golden. So, and then it was trying to see how to make the other side, gold. It is half golden, right? So it has an urge to become fully gold.
Yes.
And it goes into places where these pujas are done, these sacrifices are done, and so on. But this is the highest sacrifice because they're all hungry, and in spite of that, they gave. So Krishna says, then the Pandavas ask, so that means what you have done is not enough, is it? because his mongoose never became fully golden. And he says, yes, instead of wasting all your effort on this pujas, you should have given lots of things to people, he says. That is the actual essence of all the remedies in Parashari book. It will be give away this, give away that, all farm animals, because these farm animals are something that is so dear to you. You hold on to them like, that is life. You know, how many cows do you have? How many cows I have? Again, assets. So we hold on to our assets. And all the sins that we have gathered in the past lives is only because we took. And so we have to give it back. So the one who has Lagna Lord in the 12th, he is designed to give it away.
Yeah.
Now, if he gives it, he escapes. But if it doesn't give, the system will take huge sums of money from him. Somebody will fall sick, after that medical expenses, then another person will fall, then you will have a loan problem, this problem, that problem. And you say, where is this money going? All past life account. So we tell them, like you said just now, if Lagna Lord is in the 12th and he says expenses, you say, you please spend it on charity. Yes. You donate it upfront. It's called the spirit of surrender. When you surrender, always the punishment is less. You give the income tax first before the government gets you. Don't wait for them to come.
Yep.
So I came up with this idea by just pondering over all these statements. Then I thought it's not just even remedies need not be the way we think it is. For example, if somebody has 8th Lord in the 6th and 6th Lord in the 8th, along with the Lagna Lord in 6, 8 and 12, afflicted by malefics, he is definitely prone to cancer. Now, what he will do, what these people will do, all those who are prone, without their knowledge, they will be consuming cancer-causing food, what they call carcinogenic foods. They will like that food. In India, that food is parotas. So you ask them, do you like parotas? They'll say, oh my God, how did you find out? I like only that. You know why? They're almost, pleading to the universe, please give me that disease. Because there is a natural force for the karma to work. And that is, this famous statement, buddhihi karma anusarini. The buddhi will be like that. The buddhi will go in accordance to fulfilling what is being stated. But in India, what will they say? 8th Lord in the 6th, Viparita Rajya. Very nice. But actually, it is a little bit Viparita is there in that. Because 8th Lord in the 6th is victory over enemies, but not disease. See, this is the problem with us. We don't read the text and stick to the text. After reading a little bit, people will ask. See, when in class, I'll say, Karkataka Lagna, Guru is declared as a benefic. Sir, Maharshi forgot, sir, one thing. Oh, what is that? They will teach Maharshi Parashara. You know what, sir? The Mula Trikona is in the 6th house of disease, deaths, and enemies. But the other house is 9th house. So, which is greater? Mula Trikona. So, you should be declared as malefic. Oh, okay, then I'll dial up Maharshi Parashara and say, you have made a mistake. You please correct it. I tell them 9th house is a big one, big house. So, for Makar Lagna, Mercury is 6th Lord and also 9th. And the Maharshi says it is a big benefic for Makar Lagna, Capricorn ascendant. Does he not know it is 6th house? So same thing. Whereas for Rishabha Lagna, Jupiter, Venus is 6th Lord. There he says it is bad planet for Rishabha Lagna, 6th house. So I thought before doing remedies, first you have to understand the text properly and stick to the text. 8th Lord in the 6th is, if he says danger from snakes and water, we have to take it slightly modified and say he is prone to diseases and a poison will enter. So what is the defense? In those days, they say, don't go near snakes. Meaning what? Don't go to places where you think snakes might be there because you're vulnerable. So don't do itself is a remedy, first remedy. Like in the beginning, I was talking about don't do business is a remedy. You know what they'll do? Sir, you give me one yantra. That yantra I'll keep under that, that idol in the puja room and make millions of money because there is money only in business. I tell them, no. Those who are employed have made 10 times the money that people make in business. I know businessmen running business for 40 years, no savings till date. But so we have generalized everything. So when you say something is there in the horoscope, you say, 8th Lord in the 3rd makes you lazy. So you know what you should do? You should try to fight that habit. Get up in the morning and do something. Don't be lazy. Instead of this, no, let it be there. I'll sleep, but I'll do some puja. I'll do some remedy. So what is the easiest remedy? Buy a gem, because this planet is weak. So they think just buying a gem is enough. It's easy. No need to work on it. Just wearing a
Nobody
gem.
wants to do the
Nobody wants to
behavioral
do any,
changes.
nobody wants to do the real thing. So they try, okay, if I wear, but actually gems will work, colors will work, everything will work, but they all work like, what do you say, in our thali meals, you have many things in the food, right?
Right.
You know, the food that we order in a hotel, thali, we call
Yeah,
it,
the
right? Yeah.
ingredients,
So
all
in
the
all the
ingredients.
one play, one small cups of everything. Like that, little bit of numerology, little bit of gemology, little bit of this, everything we need.
Yes.
But you know what is the main thing is the central food.
Yes.
And that is the actual horoscope and that karma theory. So when you say that there is a, for example, eighth lord in the third, or no, forget eighth lord in that, you take 10th lord in the eighth, always your career will be checkered. What to do? What remedy for that? You have to find jobs for others. That is the highest remedy. You have to get jobs for others. If seventh house is afflicted, or let's say seventh lord is in the 12th, you left your spouse. You never cared for your marriage in the past. Now, how will you prove to the karma, no, I'm changed person? I'll tell them, get people married. Means not that way, like, you can't spend on, complete marriage. I'll tell them, why don't you, participate? Like, why don't you print the wedding cards? You just say, I know one person here, I know one person there. Why don't you people go, contemplate on marriage? You meet your elders and try to see if you can get married. So help people get married is one of the simplest remedy for, for the marriage problem. Because you see why the seventh house is afflicted is you are so used to, fighting in marriage and splitting people in marriage. You went in between, like adultery, and you split the family. So your seventh house will be severely afflicted. And now this time, nobody is staying with you. They just come in and go away.
Right.
So then I tell them, you do Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, peace mantras, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. If you have Saturn and Rahu in the seventh, you will be always tempted to fight in relationship. Now, if you have that habit, which is coming from a past life, you continue it in this life, how will you have friends? How will you even convert it into a relationship? You will be there in a relationship for just hardly 6 months. After that, you will fight. So if you think remedies are only the bookish textbook based remedy, or only the prayer part, or let's say even what has been mentioned in the giving, it is not complete. You have to change the root. At the root level, you got to go and advise them. See, these are your defects. You have to be practical. Now you go to a motivational lecturer or anybody, if they say how to become rich, he'll give you some tips. Even those tips are valid. Because you see, the second house is house of tongue. Okay. If the second house is good, you will speak well. And speaking is very important. Those who are afflicted second house, they can't speak well. So their income will go down. So what is the remedy that they have to do? Depending upon what problem they're having, they should try to relate the problem and the solution. If I'm failing in Hindi, you should not tell me go and read English. You have to tell me read Hindi only. Because you got to undo what you have not done. You neglected. So you neglected your children. That's why you're having your fifth house in trouble. So you do the remedies according to that. So if you go through the text in both Bhrigusutram and proper Brihat Parashara Shastra text, you will eventually find out the core meaning of these grahas. After that, to suit the modern condition, you can alter and modify the remedy. You don't have to stick to what is exactly there. So I was wondering whether it is only black cow. Should we stick to that? Because those days it was that. That was the most important thing. So then I thought, what about green cow? There's no green cows. So Mercury, what do you give? So it is obvious that Maharshi is saying if something is available, tallying and associated with that planet, you do those things. If not, you do something else.
Correct.
You can't be hard and fast with this. So, and one important point is there will be certain dashas and antardashas when you are vulnerable. During those times, you have to stick to the textbook remedy also. because you can never
Yeah,
take a
that was
chance.
my another question. Like, should we be doing the remedies? Like, if we are prescribing, or do you do this way that if the dasha changes, so you give the remedies as per the dasha, or you
If it
give
is
the
mentioned, no, it is usually bhukti based because dasha is for a longer period.
yes,
So, but if the dasha is bad, like for example, constantly the rishis keep mentioning about second and seventh lord only all the
yes,
time.
hmm,
So at the top level in the dashas, you do seventh lord or second lord's Mahamrityunjaya and all this. It will run through the entire dasha. But if it is a bhukti, one more bhukti joins in, it will become double maraka.
hmm,
So already in this text itself, it will say there is a danger to life, and the dasha is also supporting it.
right,
Then in the conjoined periods of marakas, there is a great chance a COVID can kill that person.
yes,
Now,
double,
for them, you'll have to tell you better do this because you can't take a chance.
hmm,
You got to do it as per book. So I always play it safe by telling them first, let's do according to the book because
right,
the rishis are obviously greater than all of us. We cannot
absolutely,
understand the core meaning of these things. What is the logic behind it?
hmm, hmm,
I'm telling you, where doctors have given up after the Mahamrityunjaya was done, complete reversal has happened so many times. You ask me a question, what will happen if you get a feedback that the remedies have not worked? One,
yes,
first of all, we need to be honest that you cannot be a billionaire.
yes,
You cannot achieve these things. Suppose I ask the principal, tell me a way to become a Hindi professor. He'll only laugh.
hmm,
First pass, then we'll see. Okay. So people will say, sir, your client is this guy who's a billionaire. Can you make me like him? I'll say, if you have the same horoscope, I can make you.
yes,
Then there are people who said, can you change the planetary position to this house so that I'll get that luck? I'll do some puja for that. I said,
hmm,
what are you talking about? How can you change the planetary positions in the
hmm,
horoscope? No, sir, one astrologer told me one remedy long time back. He changed the planet from this house to that house.
hmm, hmm,
People are there like this. Why this happens is we have to accept that there is a limitations to whatever karma we have brought forward
yeah,
and stay at that level. You don't have to say, no, 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 you give me some extra, sir, wearing 2 carats emerald can do this much. I can see in your hand you're wearing emerald. Can I wear 10 carat emerald? So it'll become extremely rich.
hmm, hmm.
I say, no, it's not there in your horoscope. No, sir, there must be some way.
There must be
I mean,
some.
that is like you're greedy and you can't be content. So the complaint will be they would actually, they have not noticed the improvement because once life gets comfortable, they will think for more.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
You get the point, sir. Remember last time when you came, you bargained the consultation fees. This time you're not. That means you're well off. No, that is okay, sir. I got some money now,
Hmm.
but it didn't work to that extent. I believed, sir, it will work. I thought I will become like that. Then these are complaints you'll always find.
Right.
See, one more thing, we got to accept that if some of those afflictions are there, anyway the quality of marriage cannot get better than at a point, beyond
Yes.
a point. You got to accept that. So, you marry the best person, it will still be somewhat like that. It will be like
So
that.
you should pacify the planets or you should propitiate the planets. That is
No,
also.
you first tell them there is a limitation to it, and then tell them what are the planets that is causing these limitations. Find
Hmm.
out the source of why the limitations happen. Give them remedies according to that, and say, wait for your time because it's not your dasha and antardasha.
Right.
You got to be very practical and you tell the
Real,
truth,
actually. This is
real, and
real.
then just tell them, see, this is how it is. You cannot see now. Rahu in the 12th dasha is going on, and you're in the last part. It's a person will say it's taking away everything one by one. I said that's
Hmm.
how Rahu in the 12th works all the time,
Hmm.
especially if it is one more malefic. But wait for Guru because Guru is in ascendant. Sir, I
Ah.
have to wait for 8 years. No, it's not like that. The original rule is you have to wait for 8 years. But now that you are told,
Hmm.
you lower your ambitions.
Yes.
Don't try
Hmm.
because it will not happen. It will not. So why you want to do so? See, it's like I come up with some analogies. Effort will always give you the result. Voice. So I
Hmm.
went to the terrace and I wanted to fly like a bird.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
kept on flapping my finger. I mean, my hand. I
Hmm.
made a joke out of this. I put in a
Okay.
lot of effort after effort. Sir, why, sir, all this? It will never work. You only told me effort works, right? You put in effort, you can defeat all planetary combinations, karma theory, everything. You keep doing this. Or you want to jump from here to 100 feet up. The world record is still somewhere only that much. And people have been jumping for, years, and they only go by 1 mm, one more mm.
Yes.
You can't do it. They're trying to run faster than, so maybe, I don't know, somebody broke the 100 meters record, but you cannot go beyond a particular point. Your heart won't withstand. So you have to tell them, see, it is not in your, you're having planets in 6, 8, and 12, afflictions, this and that. You got to be content, and that is the limit. Within this, that boundaries, we will tell you how to make things better for you.
Right.
Friday, because Venus is in such a position, Nietzsche, and then it's also Nietzsche maybe in Navamsha, and then this, like this, they say, Maharishi says Mahalakshmi. Then do Mahalakshmi Puja. If I do Mahalakshmi, will I become billionaire? Again, this Hindi story I'll tell. Can I become national first in Hindi? No, sir, you cannot, sir. Like that, you can also not become. If we take this stance, it's not just to, get only a positive feedback on remedies. It is primarily because this is the truth. Even when people eagerly, by noticing that I'm wearing gems, they'll say, I will also wear like that. Then I'll say, no, my horoscope is different from yours.
True.
But it doesn't mean that this alone is the reason for it. Everything works in tandem. Like everything is part of the, like if you ask which is important in my body, how can I say? Everything is important. Everything has come together. Some people say Shani, Rahu and Ketu, only they hold the maximum karma. It's also true. But so what? What about the other grahas? Sometimes they also, depending upon the planetary combinations, they will have a lot of effect during a particular period.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So by reading the text, you can give them a lot of suggestions based on what is happening to the person and connecting to what the Maharishi said and fine-tuning it further, because we know what's happening.
Right.
In Rahu Dasha, Chandra Antardasha, the Maharishi says you could be afflicted by, one of the statement is you could be afflicted by ghost. But I'd still feel, maybe for want of proper words, the Rishi was forced to use such language. But I sometimes feel like how modern, psychologists, interpretation, they say it's not ghost, it is something to do with the mind.
Right.
But all things that you cannot explain using a common sense approach, why this person is behaving like this, they when they use it on a lay person, they will tell it is because of a spirit, a possession.
Yes.
They can't tell it in layman's terms.
Right.
So that you understand, oh, that means it's coming in Rahu Dasha, Chandra Antardasha. That means moon is the mind and Rahu is all this fear and this. Then you know whom to worship. It is Durga.
Durga.
Because then, she is the destroyer of the demons.
Right.
And fearlessness, because it is like you're afraid and you should go to the fearless.
True.
To the one who, destroys the enemies, so fierce, Ugra, right? And then we say Kali. Now, the idea is you worship that which is frightening itself.
True.
When even though it is a story, when Batman is asked, why did you choose bat as your symbol? He says, I was afraid of bats when I was a kid. And then one day I decided to come out of it, walked into a cave filled with bats. When I came out of the cave, I became something else because I won over the worst fears in my life. As a remembrance, I'm wearing the bat.
Yeah.
So what they did in India was Rahu in the 5th, they said worship the snake itself. Because this Rahu is going to work on your mind in a very different way. So they always connected it somehow to the problem itself.
Yes.
So, but the only problem with Rahu is, if Venus is unfriendly, you have to give remedies connected to the goddess, Mahalakshmi and Durga. But even there is an issue, whether it is Mahalakshmi or Durga. If the Rahu is causing financial problem, it should be Mahalakshmi. Okay. If it is causing enemies and disease, it should be Durga.
Durga.
Now, leave that as a category. One more side. If Rahu for a person for whom, let's say, Jupiter is an enemy, or Mars is an enemy, or Sun is an enemy.
Yes.
Okay. But then Rahu Dosham is there. You know what you should do? You should connect this Rahu problem to Lord Shiva, because he is the one who can consume poison.
Right.
So this poison, or is it like a Rakshasa fear? You have to determine from this simple logic that if it is Venus is your functional malefic for any lagna, you should go towards Durga. And if Venus is, or if Sun and that Jupiter Mars set is unfriendly to you, you should go towards Lord Shiva. So for example, let's do an example like Tula Lagna. If Tula Lagna person has a Rahu problem going on, you have to tell them not Durga. You have to tell them, because Sun is the 11th Lord and Jupiter is the 6th Lord. So you tell them only Shiva for Rahu.
Okay.
Because for him it will be poison based, logics, or ignorance based.
So here, one more thing, like we have to tell them to do the mantras, or we have to tell them.
One Shivalinga direct worship. No, Shivalinga direct. See, I want to tell you something here.
Because so many mantras, people start giving blindly.
Yeah.
So that is also one question.
See, actually, according to me, only when you pronounce a mantra wrong, it's not just it is going to hurt you, it may not work. I don't know whether, but there will be an example of how it will hurt you. Because the meaning may change, maybe because of that. Absolutely. Only because of that, right? I think, this in the grammar we have, like somebody is sending a note, they're about to execute somebody. So he sends the message, what is that? Hang him, not release him, something like that. So he put the comma here and sent it, but the telegraph, some mistake happened. Right. Hang him, and then it became not release him. So if you tell a mantra where the meaning changes, maybe it hurts you.
Yes, absolutely.
But otherwise, it will not, no God is going to hurt you. Okay. So, but the thing is, if you know that Rahu is ignorance, then it is always better you go to
Shiva, Lord Shiva's.
Because exactly, because Shiva is the ultimate guru, where he has the knowledge. So this ignorance is killing the person, Rahu. Whereas in the other side, it will be the Rakshasa type of Rahu. There it is Durga. So you can easily, you don't have to stick to this rule, because sometimes if you go Lagna based, and if you see in the actual person, see, I'm telling you this, I'll never forget a case where a person is went through Rahu Chandra, Rahu Dasha, Chandra Antardasha. During that time, whatever the Rishi told about, though he did say about ghost, something happened to this girl and she changed and she became like, what do you call that? Stone type, like this, quiet. Nothing, no talking, no, become completely different. And the worst part is you take her to 100 doctors, nobody is able to tell anything.
Oh, okay.
Now, from that, you know that there is something that happened according to what Maharshi said. Now, you know, this is about, maybe it is something like a ghost. Maybe she saw something, or maybe she was, she was frightened beyond a point. Nobody knows about that event. Anything could have happened, right? So there, even if you don't find the proof, you'll have to say only Durga only.
Right. And similar kind, I have a client who had, whose son was hearing noises, and Rahu Moon affliction, same thing.
Same
Rahu
thing.
Moon, Dasha, Antradasha.
They'll imagine. Instead of taking them to a doctor, even though doctors may help at a point, point, but the problem with this medical method is they'll give you medicines to, just sleep you, make you put you to sleep and calm you, but it won't work at the root level. But sometimes it will be so acute that you will need a doctor still. See, I am looking at astrology like one of the branch of knowledge. So you should not neglect other knowledge.
True.
Suppose even though we did a study on all the people who died from COVID. Okay, we did more than 40 horoscopes. But I made the video and then we changed our mind. We didn't release it. We didn't upload it on YouTube because we thought it will frighten many people. It was all so exact. Then I was thinking, why don't people, I don't know the truth about vaccines and all that, but I'm thinking that people are making an effort with vaccines. So we should tell that everybody should, put on, take the vaccine, take the shots. Because if you believe that God will protect us, God will say, I gave you the intelligence
Exactly.
to protect yourself. You cannot, bypass that knowledge.
No.
So you'll have to go in between, because sometimes if you say, oh, no, Ayurveda is better for a health problem, let's say Vata disease, Pavan Vyadi. And usually Rahu, Ketu, Saturn on 1/7 will give the maximum Vata. Now, if they go through Vata and they won't tell it as Vata, but the English doctor will call it different ways. They'll call it arthritis, this, that, lots of names will come up for it. Indigestion problem, constipation, this and that. Now, they will treat that from their way of, looking at it. So to begin with, even their treatment will be useful only.
Right.
But how Ayurveda works is, Ayurveda works at changing everything at the root level. But it'll take time, and sometimes you won't have enough time.
Right.
So therefore, you'll have to start with allopathy and have a good reading of the horoscope and connect it to the planets, and then reach out to an Ayurvedic doctor, because in those days, Ayurvedic doctor was also an astrologer, or vice versa.
Yes.
You understand? So that's why you find so much of disease mentioned in the textbook.
Now also there are astrologers who are.
There are. Yeah,
Yes.
because they know this. So they'll read both and say, see, because once I had a problem with my neck, I went to one specialist who's a very strange kind of something. And he was saying like a miracle doctor or something. So as I was getting treated, he does not know my background in astrology. I just went like that and I told him. As he was feeling my neck, he said, do you have Saturn in the third? Okay. It just came like, out of the blue. Wow. And I looked around to see if somebody had told him that I am an astrologer. But I did not give any clue at all, right? So nobody knows really. Then I thought, why is he saying this? Then I asked him, why did you ask this question? No. I'm also studying astrology. I know Saturn in the third can do this. There's logic, because Vata Graha and all this tightening the muscles and all that happens with Saturn only. And the third house is house of neck. Right. So I said, then I said, what you told is correct, but I don't have it there.
Okay.
Then I told him, see, you're so close because I have it in ascendant where it is looking so strongly at my third house.
Third house.
So you forgot that it need not be in the third. It can still be powerfully aspecting the third, because Saturn's third house aspect is 100% aspect on, on the third house from Lagna. Then he said, oh, you know so much astrology. Then I said, yeah, I'm into astrology for many years. Oh, it's good to know astrology, he said. And then he went on with all that finding and the treatment thing that he was doing. But I never told him that I'm a professional astrologer. But you see the logic in this. They call it some Marma doctor. They have some Marma. So he had a board saying he's a very different kind of doctor, and somebody guided me to him. Why don't you go there? So this will fail in certain times. That will work sometimes. Sometimes allopathy doctors can't do anything. Sometimes a simple, those days this they'll do something like this, even that will work suddenly.
That works, yeah. It's sort of a acupressure also.
Yeah. So many strange things can happen. If you now, since YouTube is there, you come up with strange ideas of treatment, the power of positive thinking, this, that, everything. So astrology, when you say remedies, I used to think of remedies like this. First, it is a positive thought.
True.
Don't worry, itself is a positive thought. I'm going to give you a remedy. Think about it from that point. So you should never complain about remedies, because at least there is an intention for both the people, astrologer and the client, that there is hope.
Absolutely.
That itself is great luck. Then you say, this planet, we have now estimated that this planet is the indicator of this. So why don't you connect the remedy to that?
Yes.
Sade Sati, 7.5 years Saturn, always they'll say, I was walking normally, sir. Sade Sati came. Now I'm limping. Then I tell them, Saturn is limping on his left leg. Sir, it is my left leg only, sir, the same problem. Oh my God, how does this work? Then I said, no, Saturn rules the left side. Because, in a way, it's our dirty side, right? So, like that. So, that is why left side only it is. I have 3 fractures only on my left side. Like that. I know of a man in Sadesati had 12 fractures in the ankle,
My God.
left leg. So strange it is.
So
But
strange.
if you
It's-
understand the logic, Saturn says, wait, where are you people rushing? There is so much of
Slow
suffering.
down. Slow down.
Wait.
Yes.
You're driving so fast. I'll teach you a lesson and then
Yeah.
he will take you off. After that, in 6 months, you will be in the bed.
Right. That's
So
what.
when Saturn, Sadesati is going on, I tell them, see, Saturn does not like this pride, this and that. You start looking at the people at the bottommost, because Saturn is the bottommost or the farthest. So in the hierarchy, Saturn is at the bottom. You know, even in Naisargika Bala, it is at the bottommost. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday comes last.
Yeah.
So this physically challenged people, so many of them are there. Whereas you are busy buying vehicles after vehicle, not giving him a vehicle, which is a wheelchair. Give him a wheelchair, otherwise we'll be put into the wheelchair. In Sadesati. Yeah. So, like I tell them, Saturn's period, you'll always be afflicted by the pra and the fra sound. So I made it very popular.
Okay.
You'll get into trouble with pra and fra. So then I said, there is a mantra for it. Om pram prim pram sa shanisharaya namaha. Why that pra is that pra, you look at in English also, problem. You understand? Solution will be prarthana, prayer. Again. So like this. So if you want to find a disease that's coming up in Saturn period, yes, sir, it's prostate gland problem. Like that they'll say. No, sir, it's pancreas. Again, pa sound. It's not, though it's not a pra, it's a p sound. So piles, sir, fissures, sir, F. So P and F carries numerology 8.
Yeah.
That value from Chaldean number of numbers, F and P carries 8 as its value.
Okay.
So you relate it to Saturn, and everything in this world is only based upon what meaning you derive from it. It's not about its own properties. Like if a cat crosses you, only if you believe that if a cat crosses you, you're going to have trouble in the journey, only then you should take it. Otherwise, it's nothing to do with you. Because the cat will go up and down. Who cares? So then I was stunned when I read this, from Carl Jung, who spoke about synchronicity. So he says synchronicity is a causal connecting principle. Very nice. It just connects, that's all. Like in Varamira's story, will the husband come back? The lady is asking the group of students along with Varamira. And then suddenly when his wife is drawing water, that rope snaps story, right?
Yes.
And then he'll ask, what do you think? They'll say, yeah, Mangalya is gone.
He will not come.
Yeah, he will not come because Mangalya is cut and her Mangalya is over. The sacred thread of marriage is over. No, Varamira says he will come back. Now, you see, the truth about this is not about the bucket or the rope or anything. It is the human intelligence which can find meaning in something and give a solution. So we are looking at a piece of paper with planets on it. It is up to us to find the meaning from it. Not that it itself has a meaning. It is associated with some meaning. So it's not the cause. That's what synchronicity is all about. He says a causal connecting principle. So the entire world, that Saturn's black color represents the same energy only. Everywhere, funeral, everything, F word, funeral.
Yeah.
Okay. It will only be black. Even most of the funeral vans are all blacks. I'm yet to see a white funeral van.
No.
Because Saturn is Maranaka, the Maraka Graha. So he Mrityu Karaka, right? He causes death, freezing, fear, freezing, all that F words. So I tell them, don't use the F word at all, because Saturn will get very angry with you.
Nowadays, they're commonly
that's become a fashion.
Fashion, yeah.
Yeah. So there are more than what we think as remedies. For example, if you see somebody using the F word, I tell them, first stop that.
Yes.
Your tongue is designed for something superior. How can you use foul language?
Foul language.
Because Buddha said the right speech out of the eightfold path. So Saturn is so much connected to 8. And the Buddha was so much connected to 8. Even Krishna was connected to 8. Yeah, in Tamil Nadu, a singer, no, he's an actor, but he sang a song with a filthy word in it,
Oh.
which starts with the letter P.
Oh,
And the
okay.
entire Tamil Nadu, ganged up, and he had to cry on TV.
Oh,
His entire image was gone.
my
It's a word that starts with letter P in Tamil.
Okay. And that's very
It
foul.
punished him immediately. So one of the big pra-akshara is pride.
Right.
So if you think remedies are only this puja or gems or something, it is not even that. It is about correcting your way of living.
Hmm.
See, while we were all playing, in the Madras Race Club badminton, there are 3 courts. So we take turns, we come out and go back in and all that. So there were some people there. 3 of them were limping.
Okay.
So because I know the Rashis, because most of them are my clients, I told them, see, he's in Sadesati, he's in Sadesati, he's in Sadesati. Look at his, all the 3 are limping.
My God.
Okay. As I was speaking, one boy came out and he said, oh my God, you people are still believing in this BS. In this 21st century, you people are believing in all this nonsense. Look at me. I'm told by my mother, I'm also going through Sadesati. 7.5 years Saturn. What has happened to me? And he used abusive words on Saturn also.
Oh.
He used it at a very bad level. He used. So one of my clients was there. He said, sir, Dhilip sir always says, don't connect the anger and filth and this planet together, you'll be punished. Because even in the word punish is a word that starts with P. So he says, sir, just come and play badminton, sir. Don't waste all your time. Why you want to bluff all these stories to people? Everything, some Saturn, this, that, all wasting time.
My God.
Ask him to do anything to me. I'll teach him a lesson like that, he said. And then he went and all the 3 clients, he said, sir, what is going to happen to him, sir? Like that. I said, God bless him, nothing should happen to him. But he always drives only a car, this guy. But on that day, which was the 17th and the Saturday, for a short trip, he went as a pillion driver, a pillion behind a motorbike. And he met with an accident. His knees were shattered. Left knee. The Saturn's point is knee. And he never came to the club for 2 years. After 2 years, I saw him in a therapy. They asked him to walk. So from distance, I saw a guy limping. And as he came closer, hey, this guy. I said, hi. He said, sir. And then he went off straight without even talking to me.
And you didn't know all this while that he has met with an accident or something?
No, I know. Because the people said he's not coming because he met with an accident. But beyond that, even they don't know.
Okay.
It's only after many, slowly we find that his knees were completely gone.
See.
It happened on a 17th, which is also a Saturday.
It's very logical. Even if you don't know about planets, even if you are, if you don't believe, never say anything like this, I think.
Yeah, just
it's a
keep
very
quiet.
strong feeling, strong statement.
Yeah, I said, see, we are in a land where we believe all this.
Yes.
We have every right to believe what we are having. You say, I don't know about this subject. I cannot voice my opinion on it and walk away.
Yeah.
You are saying, I'm so proud, like in most of the, this stories and fiction and in all this comics and everything. You say, somebody will say, I want to be the king of this world, emperor. Yeah. I am like that, they'll say. Right. And soon they'll be destroyed by the hero. Standard story, poetic justice. Yeah. So we should. So this
pride leads to fall.
Exactly. Pride and fall, both P and F. Okay. So I am so fascinated with this P and F. Okay. Sure. See, for example, when the Titanic was built, the engineer kept saying, even if God thinks he cannot sink this ship. That was the statement he made. Even if God thinks, and it broke all records, being the first ship to sink on its maiden trip itself.
Yes.
You understand? Just because he said that.
He said that. Yes.
And the accident itself is freak. It's a freak accident. Because the iceberg must cut like that. across the ship. And it can only happen if they turn sideways and hit the iceberg. If they hit straight like this, nothing would have happened. Head on.
Right.
It would have, maybe it would have given them better chance for
Not
survival.
that kind of a damage.
Yeah, that kind of a damage. So this was like, oh, you're saying, so always I tell people, don't talk about God. Don't, if you don't know, you just keep quiet. Here what I tell, all religions are same. Everybody is praying to the same God. And there are no many gods. There is only one God for all religions. All the human beings have only one, whichever you call as the good energy, God energy, is the same thing. Everybody is having problems. Everybody is looking for a solution. We got to pray. We got to do good things to human beings. We have a universal solution for this. So if you see in Islam, there is something called zakat where you're supposed to donate. You have in every religion, donate, help your, love your neighbor, this, that. Common things are there. Because and even in our, like we have mantras like Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let's not have war. Only peace. So we have a universal thing. It's not about any religion at all. In fact, I always, first give the universal remedy than the Hindu way of doing remedies.
True. Absolutely.
Because I give them the direct action because I know what is the real reason for karma. But if you are a Hindu, you practice it this way. If you are a Muslim, you practice it like this. Or if you're a Christian, or if you're anything, or whatever your belief system, I tell them, even if you don't believe in God, believe in good.
True.
Believe in good. And believe in doing good to others, then God anyway will like you, right? Because God only wants that.
Yes.
So even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, see, everything is only for Loka Shema. It's only for the welfare of the world. If you are working on the welfare of the world, there is no greater remedy than that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You get the point.
Very well said. Yes.
So you can connect it to the fault itself. Always. If Maharishi says 10th Lord in the 12th and 12th Lord in the 11th Parivartana, they will always have some big problem with the government. Usually they get into some kind of situation. I tell them, play safe, don't play with the government, don't break the law, don't disobey the rules when you're walking through the immigration. Please be honest. If you're carrying anything, pay the taxes. That's the first remedy. Why should you go to gods before this remedy? So, and there will be some good days based upon a ascendant. On those days, you apply for a job. Like the simple tricks are there. You see this, whatever faith we may belong, today, at this moment in time, we are all having the same weekday. We are in a weekday.
Absolutely.
We are in a particular period. The sun is in a particular house. So lots of things are common to all of us. Okay, for the other side of the world, the day is not the same, but eventually they will also get the same day.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
So we have a very systematic, logic to this. If you go through the horoscope and all the good things, you forget it because it will work by itself. Whatever is the bad, you first warn them, or you tell them to align yourself to that. If the 11th Lord is in the 6th, Maharishi says Paradeshi, you better go abroad. Don't stay here. If you stay here, the 6th house will become disease, deaths and enemies.
True.
But if you go to a foreign country, that only is the 6th house. Labha through by going to a foreign country. So this is just about how to align with your karma.
True.
So that itself is a remedy. Then over and above that, if you want to get special advantage, you pray to your gods. So first universal thing is, instead of saying worship Venus on, if Venus is the problem, you say worship Mahalakshmi on Friday. Before you even make a specific statement like that, you should say, read your scriptures on Friday. If it is Quran, you read it on Friday. If it is Bible, you read it on, New Testament on Friday. First, you do your prayer on Friday. That is a universal remedy. Because that Friday connects to that Venus energy somehow. That we do not know how. It connects. Okay. Then if they say, I also believe in this way of praying, then you tell them something. Or no, I don't believe in God. Okay, no issues. Venus is female. Start donating a lot of things to females. Give them their dress. Who knows why you would have done something with the females because of which your Venus is like this. Yes. So try to return it back. It can happen in anything, any place you can do these remedies. So
I generally tell them to, dress up well, perfume yourself well,
that makes Venus stronger. That makes Venus stronger.
Make your Venus strong. Yeah.
And that is when the Venus is your friendly planet. If Venus is your enemy, you got to give it away.
Give it away.
You start
Yes.
give it away. So it's
Yes.
like if I'm having diabetes, first idea is
Sugar.
don't consume sugar. First idea. Second is donate sugar.
Hmm.
What causes problem to you, you should donate it.
Donate. Hmm.
But at the same time, whatever you said is also good because it makes common sense. If you're not dressed up properly, surely you'll attract poverty. Because nobody likes to,
Saturn.
nobody likes that, that what we call that, the look of a poor person. So you got to be at least neat and, the minimally, at least, well dressed.
True.
Right.
True.
I mean, that's the way of the world. So you got to learn these things. So I came up with this idea. Let's be practical with
Yes.
remedies. First,
Mhm.
understand the combinations, read everything from the text, follow the text as much as you can. But if they belong to another religion, drop the text and take the charity portion and then adjust it according to the place they live in. Kala, Desha, Patra, depending upon this. You change it and adjust it. Don't make it hard and fast. Sometimes, sir, do you think I have to give a black cow? No, you don't want to give a black cow. You do some other black remedies. Like what, sir? You find out anything which is black and it should be very big. It should change the other person's life.
Yes.
So that's all. It's about, giving assets.
So
And you
if
also,
somebody wants to do some kind of charities, are you connected to any charitable institutes or anything?
no, I'm not connected. I just tell them you just find it out for yourself because in that process that you search itself is a prashchit. A repentance. You make an effort. They'll say, where are you doing your remedy? I'll say, I have my own. I can tell you, but you should make some initial effort.
True.
Where are you doing I'm connected to some orphanage. I'm connected to a physically challenged people's organization. Like that, I have lots of connections here.
Right.
But when they ask me also, I won't give them immediately because I want them to work on it.
Absolutely.
Become very
if
eager.
They can find, obviously.
First, I'll tell them, where are you from? Mumbai. Find first in Mumbai. Because charity begins at home.
One, like people start thinking that they might be running a money-making business. That is also
exactly.
there. That's why I also never tell anybody that,
you got to test it out because because in everything, there is always a possibility of things going wrong.
Right.
In anything. So it is our responsibility that you verify where you are giving and you are convinced you should give.
Yes. Yes.
So now what we are doing, our students and clients, all of them, they have formed various groups. They have tested everybody, whatever they wanted to test, they've done everything. We have some methods of kind of auditing type, making sure it was done, photograph evidence, this, that, everything going on. But we don't have any specific, our own thing. In fact, you have this line in Maharishi Parashara's book. He says, first do it yourself. Even the prayer, he doesn't say appoint a priest.
Yes.
But if you don't have that knowledge, then what you do? Then only appoint a priest. You should start from you first.
True.
Even if you do a Mahamrityunjaya Homa Havan, even then I tell people, you continue to do your own, Om Prem Bhagam Yajamahi. You have to do it yourself.
You have to do it.
Oh, no, he has done it for me. That is enough, they say. In India, the people are so lazy. What they do, you have to do Pitru Tarpana. No, sir, I did 20 years back. 20 years back, you did Pitru Tarpana. Now, what have you done? You've forgotten your Pitrus. Yes, sir. That priest told me, you do it here, you can forget the Pitrus after that. People are so happy to hear this.
Yes.
Then I tell them, no, that's not the concept. The concept is thanking your Pitrus. Exactly. How can you say, I thanked somebody 20 years back? You cannot do that. You got to constantly say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Only then you will be in the good books.
And you cannot just be doing it only at the Pitru Paksha. You can do it any point in time of the year.
Anytime.
People wait
like
for
Amavasya you can do. They wait only for that time.
Yes.
It is like, why do they want to do it like this? It's like, I won't contact a friend. I won't contact a friend for a full year. And on his birthday, I'll say, how are you? What is the meaning of friendship then?
Yes.
You understand? So, it is
beautiful analogy again.
it has become a fashion like this, like sir, if I wear 4 gems, will it get luckier? Or if I wear larger, I'm having it on the finger, what about pendant? I'll wear pendant also. You understand? Again, it is only about keeping to themselves.
Right.
Not anything to give. When it comes to giving, I'll tell them, give 800 rupees for Saturn's remedy on Saturday. 80 rupees can I give, sir? Whereas with other things, so 1 carat gem, you're saying 6 piece diamonds. I want to bring down the cost. So I tell them, get smaller things and add it up to 1 carat.
Hmm.
Do you know what they say? No, sir. For my getup, solitaire only look nice.
Yes.
I'm telling them to reduce the
Oh
price,
God.
cost. So they will always look for easy things, and they will
And
always think
immediate results, basically
immediate results,
immediate
immediate.
results.
And and sometimes we got to be honest. No, it won't change. It is so bad. You got to wait, because sometimes patience itself is the key. So in one of my classroom slides, I used to have Vishnu, and then his chakra on his this little finger. But I have that thing there, and I'll show people that image. And then slowly what I'll do, what is this chakra? Then I'll go towards the chakra and I'll expand it. It'll be the solar system.
Wow.
That is
Beautiful.
the chakra. That is the chakra.
Wow.
That is Vishnu's chakra. Through this, I'm achieving everything. That's what he says.
Wow.
I have the entire solar system like a chakra on his finger. And when you minimize it, it becomes like a chakra. Then when I pull it out, it will become solar system.
Oh, wow. So meaningful. So meaningful.
Yeah. So that's what he says, in time it will happen. So what can we do about time? When the Pandavas are in exile, they have to be in exile. They can't do anything. Even Krishna cannot help them.
True.
But
True.
Krishna is working on the background. So the stories, like even if God is not directly coming, God is always behind us.
Yes.
All the time with us. Only thing is, we say we have lots of complaints. What are you doing? You're not helping me, and all those kind of things. So I've just given you the rough picture of I know there's so much more. See, but actually, when you get into the specifics of things, you have lots of information already in the internet. That's why I didn't speak on those things.
Right.
Like I didn't want to be so specific about which mantra for this, for wealth and all. That is very everybody knows it all. People, even without astrology, by just looking at what we are going through, we can make remedies for ourselves.
Absolutely.
Because you look at it like this: when I am fractured, when I am like this, immediately I become softer and kinder to people who are also fractured. That is a human nature in us.
True.
That it reveals to us, see, I'm suffering. I now understand his suffering. So what is my problem is, I have to take care of that guy now.
That's what Saturn did to all of us, with the COVID thing.
Exactly.
He did this to us.
Yes.
Be compassionate. Understand everybody else's pain.
Yeah, no, it's like he was trying to teach us money doesn't help you all the time. Right. Because and even so-called health also doesn't, I saw some, I was told about certain kinds of, situations where the person is very healthy, actually physically fit, dies in 3 days from COVID.
Oh my gosh.
Unhealthy people surviving it just like that. It's not about what we think, like if you're muscular and you're going to the gym and one guy, 6-footer guy, so much almost like a tough guy, bodybuilder, he died in 3 days.
My goodness.
So it is beyond all kinds of, our normal logic fails.
So thank you so much, sir, for all the information. Thank you so much for sparing so much of your time. And let's hope to hear more from you, because I know this is not enough. One video is never enough with you. So please make time. My audience will be waiting for you. So please try coming back again, sir. Thank you so much.
Surely I will.
Thank you so much. Pranam.
Thank you also.